Want to sell homemade food in Oregon? I'll cover exactly what you need to know, from food safety training to what you can legally sell to labeling. First, an important clarification. Oregon actually has a few different legal paths for selling food made at home, and the rules depend on what you're selling and how you're selling it. There's the cottage food exemption, which applies to most people selling shelf-stable homemade foods. There are farm direct rules, which apply if you're selling foods you grow yourself, and there's a domestic kitchen license, which is required if you want to sell higher risk foods or exceed the cottage food limits. In this video, I'm going to focus on the cottage food exemption because that's what applies to most home bakers and small food businesses in Oregon. That said, let's start with one of the most common questions. Do you need food safety training to sell homemade food in the state? The state does require that everyone involved in preparing cottage foods completes a food handler training program. In most cases, food handler cards must be issued by the Oregon Health Authority or your local health department. Not all online food handler courses are accepted statewide. Because of that, the most important step is to check with your local health department to confirm which food handler training they approve. Requirements and accepted providers can vary by county. Some people choose nationally accredited training like FoodSafePal for general food safety knowledge or for work in other states. But FoodSafePal is not accepted everywhere in the state for cottage food compliance. Now let's talk about what you can and can't sell under Oregon's cottage food exemption. The state allows a wide range of shelf-stable foods that do not require time or temperature controls for safety. This includes baked goods, syrups, popcorn, nut mixes, coffee beans, honey, and honey products made with commercial ingredients, jams and jellies made only from fruits with a natural pH below 4.6, fruit butters made from low-acid fruits, confectionery items including certain freeze-dried candies, dried tea and spice blends from commercial foods, powdered drink mixes from commercial foods, and repackaged, dried, or freeze-dried foods purchased from commercial sources. All foods must be safe to store at room temperature. Foods that require refrigeration or temperature control are not allowed. That includes cream pies, cheesecakes, pastries with custard or cream fillings, chocolate-covered fresh fruit, baked goods with meat or seafood, and any other time or temperature-controlled food. Oregon is more flexible than many states. You can sell cottage foods directly to people from your home, at farmers markets, roadside stands, and community events. You can accept orders online and sell through the mail. Under specific conditions, you can also sell packaged and labeled cottage foods to retail stores, as long as those foods are stored separately and clearly labeled as homemade and not prepared in an inspected food establishment. You cannot sell cottage foods to institutions such as restaurants, caterers, schools, daycares, hospitals, nursing homes, or correctional facilities. Every cottage food product must be labeled. Labels must include your business name and contact information, the product name, the full ingredient list in ascending order by weight, allergen information, the net weight or volume, and this exact statement. Alright, let's recap. If you want to sell homemade food in Oregon, you need to understand which legal paths apply to you. For most home bakers and small food businesses, that's the cottage food exemption. Food handler training is required, but Oregon only accepts certain food handler cards. You can sell many shelf-stable foods, but not foods that require refrigeration or temperature control. Finally, make sure each product is labeled with the required information.